the left to Lydia. Lydia! Yeah.
Mr. Bennett! Girls! Come! Lizzie, Jane, Lydia! Oh,
Sylvia, still left.
Mary.
Fine, you did the right.
Try to remain calm, but Netherfield Park is let at last! It is lent to a Mr. Bingley, a fellow of large income and girls. He's single! But a conquest for our daughters, if only you would call on him first, Mr. Bennet.
5, 6, 7, 8.
How could it possibly affect them, my dear?
It's a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife and
Exactly. Thank you, Lizzie, and I'm sure he'll settle for one of them, as long as you get there before that horse-faced Charlotte Lucas.
Mama, Charlotte is our friend.
Wow, your horse-faced friend, Charlotte Lucas, is a shameless fortune hunter, Jane, and shall snap him up in a trice if you do not go! Go!
Fine! Mr. Bingley may have any of the girls he chooses. I'll even throw in a good word for Lizzie. Does that make you happy?
Thank you,
Lizzie is not half as good as the others, not half as handsome as Jane, nor so good-humored and perfect, and oh my God, I love you. You're my favorite, Lydia. Thank you, Mama. Though you will have your favorite.
Mama.
Not so. Fashion forward as Mary.
They have none of them much to recommend, my dear.
Well, we will not get rid of them if you do not call on every single one very promising gentleman who has practically fallen into our laps. Stop that, Mary. You'll tear my nerves to pieces.
I do not cough for my own amusement, Mamma.
Fine. You all delight in vexing me. You have no compassion for my nerves, which at any moment may snap and fell me like
My dear, please! I'm well acquainted with your nerves and wish destroying my papers for 20 plus years.
Do not blame your father, girls, when he drops them.
I'm not that old! Do not resolve on penury and death just quite yet. Live long enough, like 5 minutes longer, for me to introduce you all to Mr. Bingley.
Papa?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I met the gentleman yesterday.
Oh my God, Mr. Bingley! What color is
Please! I testify to nothing but that he has 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 2 of everything that ought to be in pairs, and 1 of everything single. Yes, I'm quite humorous. And that he brings in £5,000 a year. And last but not least, he'll be at the Longs Ball on Tuesday.
Oh my God, Mr.
Get off of me, woman! I hope I got this a moment's peace to try and reattach my paper.
Lydia! Though you are the youngest, you are also my favorite. Which means you shall dance with Mr. Bingley first! But you shall need new slippers. Mr. Bennet!
No!
Mr. Bennet!
I am not afraid, for though I'm the youngest, I'm the stoutest. A rich bachelor in the neighborhood, Jane. Whatever shall you do to get him in your clutches? One of us must marry to save the family, and you're the likeliest champion. Me? Lizzie, why not you? Me? I'm an ugly, sharp-tongued, awkward little creature, but you are good and you're kind, and you're about 5 times prettier than any girl in the county. No. You shall have to fall on Mr. Bingley's sword, and be quick about it. The clock is ticking for us old maids. Then why shouldn't I catch him?
For me.
Lydia, you are much too young to be thinking of such things. And Mary, you have... Lizzie's talking a lot of nonsense, girls, as per usual, right? Only joking.
Well, why should you pretend love and marriage and all that's a joke? Seems awfully serious to me.
That's because you're far away from it. When you become closer to the prospect, it becomes much too frightening and you have to laugh so that you don't cry. Playing games keeps one sane when the stakes involved threaten to drive one mad.
No! Stop filling her head with foolishness. It is not a game, Lydia.
Isn't it? No. There are rules and strategies, wins, losses, and it is theoretically done for pleasure.
But how do you know when you've met the right match?
Oh, I really shouldn't tell you. But you know you found him when? When? A lightning bolt shoots down from the sky and No. You found your perfect match when your mama has finished counting his silver and your papa has checked in on his bankers. It's all just very, very romantic, really.
It's complicated, dear, but I imagine you know you found the right person when? Well, at first there is a liking, and then you act appropriately, of course. But eventually there is a perfect understanding between two souls, wordless and faultless. I know.
Now who's filling her head with nonsense? What kind of novels have you been reading?
Well, what do you really think it is, Elizabeth?
I have no intention to find out. One of you must marry to save the family, or I'll none of it.
You don't mean that.
I know myself, Jane. I shall never marry, for the state is fundamentally flawed as far as I can see it. I would, however, make a lovely maiden aunt, so do go ahead and make the proper arrangements with that Mr. Bingley.
Chest and bum and eyes and smile.
Chest and bum and eyes and smile.
Catch that man with female eyes.
Catch that man with female eyes.
Chest and bum and dulcet tones.
Chest and bum and dulcet tones.
No one wants to die alone.
No one wants to die alone.
Chest and bum and eyes and smile.
Chest and bum and eyes and smile.
Catch that man with female eyes.
Catch that man with female eyes.
Chest and bum and dulcet tones.
Chest and bum and dulcet tones.
No one wants to die alone.
No one wants to die alone.
A turn hot. In line now, girls, do stand straight. It does not display you to your God. Oh, there. Maybe just take a few steps
My
back.
mother's dress itches.
You're doing amazing, sweetie. Smiles, Lizzie. It does not display you to your advantage to look so glum. Then this may be your last chance. Now, with you girls in full parade, I shall serve as vanguard. Yoo-hoo! Mrs. Long, how is your boy with the scruffula?
I spy a red coat.
Lydia, don't step out of line. Lydia, how can you laugh?
What else is there to do?
Jane, Lizzie.
Mary.
Mama insisted I join you immediately and not give up any more partners to you shameless Bennetts.
I spy.
I spy. Haven't you been engaged for any dances yet?
There's a deplorable lack of gentlemen. I spy nothing worth noting.
I spy a terribly dull evening ahead.
Oh, I hate this kind of event.
One of these days, Elizabeth, somebody's going to catch your eye and you're going to have to hold your tongue.
I'm not so sure about that one, Jane. I don't much like being pushed or pulled or trod upon. All to play a game I'd rather not win.
Oh, I do believe I spy your mother ensnaring Mrs. Long's scabby son for you now. Don't squeeze it, Steve!
And I believe I spy Lydia, having rather too much to drink again.
Oh, I do believe I spy the wealthy Mr. Bingley entering with his equally rich sister. She's much too perfect to be admired. I rather hate her.
Charles. No, but that can't be the bachelor my mother described, Charlotte.
Hello,
He
Mrs.
looks
Chair.
so disappointingly
Seen you
mortal.
No.
My heavens, Caroline, have you ever seen such a charming room?
A very rustic sort of charm.
Just natural, unaffected, and wonderful. Now, Mr. Darcy, just the man I was looking for. You must tell me, have you ever seen livelier company?
I've seen quieter company, Bingley.
Oh, there's nothing like dancing to quicken the blood.
Any savage can dance.
And some do now.
All of the vivacity and imperfections is just such a contrast to London life now, wouldn't you agree?
I've never found fault with too much perfection.
There's never been a pleasanter ball, nor better company. I shall never be as happy as I am now. Oh, Master Darcy, I do believe that I spy. I spy my.
Mr. Bingley,
Mr. Bennet, sir.
my eldest Jane, please do be a gentleman.
Miss Jane Bennet, would you care for a dance?
Sure.
Oh my god, Lizzie! Lizard, Liz Maddie, Liz Balls. Guess what? Mr. Bingley's here, and he's brought his friend, Mr. Darcy, who's worth 10,000 pounds! I'm gonna get us something to drink.
I hate this kind of event.
Detestable, aren't they? So vulgar and clumsy. Oh, look at
Wonderful,
it.
America.
It is a close room. You want some punch? Hot punch.
Oh.
As in the drink.
Lizzie, oh, help your mama out here. Oh my god, look, Jane and Bingley are dancing.
Yes, they are. Okay, yes, Mama, yes. Who cares if Bingley is amiable or decent or even breathing? So long as we win 5,000 a year, if only Jane can ensnare him.
Mr. Darcy! I'm Mrs. Bennet. This is my daughter, Elizabeth. She's single. She's funny.
Mama,
She's
please.
pretty. She's single. Did I mention she's single? Oh my god! It's soaking here. Let me help.
Madam, please!
Such a shame.
Mr. Darcy, I'm so sorry.
Think nothing of it, Miss Bennet. Excuse me, Bingley. What is it? I must take my leave.
So soon, how come?
I'm not fit to be seen. I look laughable.
All right, so you don't look perfect. It is a country ball. We cannot leave. It is most impolite.
This is too much, Bingley.
Perhaps you should go dance.
Sir, it'd be a punishment to dance with any lady here.
How could you say such a thing? Miss Jane Bennet, for example, is as beautiful as an angel.
Well, congratulations, Bingley. You found the one tolerable woman in the room. These vulgar country mothers pushing their spinster daughters at one like choice cows at a meat market. Bingley, I loathe strange company, I detest dancing, and have no desire to give a thrill to some desperate, awkward spinster, let alone while covered in rum punch! Bingley, I must take my leave.
Come now,
One more word.
Oh, we're going.
Yes.
All right, Mary, out from the table. Yeah. I'll be right there. Just give me a second. Bye, sweetie.
Quite the time.
Good for you, sweetie.
What have you been drinking?
So lively. Miss Bennet, I hope to see you again tomorrow. I shall have my sister invite you to Netherfield.
Bingley, it's time to go.
Jane, let's leave. We awkward spinsters shouldn't punish Mr. Darcy any longer.
Let's go.
What? We're going. Okay. Okay, Bennett, assemble. Bennett, roll out. to have her invited to Netherfield Park overnight.
She was not invited overnight, Mama.
No.
You sent her to tea on horseback, and then when it started to rain, you would not send the carriage. You would not send the carriage to collect her, which is just very
Very clever. Oh God, no. Very clever is what it is, my dear. You know, this isn't my first sally in the field. I won your father, didn't I? And isn't he a prize? Yeah. Stop that. Now, Lydia, what did Bingley say about Jane again?
Mr. Somebody asked Mr. Bingley which he thought the prettiest girl in the whole room. And Mr. Bingley said, Miss Jane Bennet,
without a doubt. Oh my God, excellent overhearing, Lydia. You're my favorite.
Mama, you should not be encouraging her to eavesdrop.
What?
You cannot say so, Elizabeth.
Vulgar country mothers pushing their spinster daughters.
Poor Lizzie. Well, everyone said Mr. Darcy'd be so rude, but yeah, he was so ed up with pride, I dare say he thought we were beneath him.
Lizzie, I wouldn't have you dance with this vain man.
I may safely promise never to do so.
Such a waste of 10,000 pounds.
Pride! Pride and vanity are different. One can be proud without being vain. Pride relates more to our opinion of ourselves. Vanity to what we would have others think of us. Pride!
I prefer the coffin.
If I were as rich as Mr. Darcy, I should not care how proud anyone thought I was. I would drink 100 bottles of wine a day.
Then you would drink much more than you ought, and I would take the rest. Oh, letter! Let her! Who's it from? It's from Jane! She says, that she is falling quite ill, and the doctor advises her very seriously to rest. Oh. Isn't it wonderful?
Mama, please. Shouldn't we send for Jane so that she may recover here at home?
Are you feeling quite well, Elizabeth?
Papa?
She might as well be sick where it's advantageous.
Papa, please.
Perhaps she will die. That would be romantic.
Papa! Come on!
Lizzie! Do you know these matrimonial games are women's purview, not mine? I lost my own round to that.
You know, we often hear of sickness from love. Perhaps this is a case of love from, sickness.
Not bad.
Mama, if you do not send for Jane, I will go to her myself.
I forbid you to do so. You may not have the carriage.
Then I shall walk.
Oh, she's going.
Lizzie. Elizabeth! Mr.
Well, do you think Miss Bennet might need more tea?
Bingley,
You just had some sent up, Charles. Do you want to drown the poor girl?
Oh, I would just hate to think of her in bed, alone. That is, she's quite the lovely creature, isn't she?
she smiles too much.
Jane Bennet is perfectly inoffensive.
I think her rather perfect, period.
I think you're too apt to admire in general, Bingley. The whole world's agreeable in your eyes, and I've never heard you speak ill on a human being in your life.
Well, perhaps you were too inclined to see flaws, Darcy.
If we do not address all imperfections in their frankness, we shall never correct them. Is that right, Miss Bingley?
Yes, Charles. There's a great virtue in being particular.
I cannot stand to resist the both of you at once. But you must admit that Miss Jane Bennet is amiable in the least.
I do agree with you, Darcy, that one does want to only mix with the best. After all, without a little clear-eyed judgment, what shocking company we should keep. Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Miss Bennet.
Mr. Bingley? Miss Bingley? Mr. Darcy.
Miss Bennet, have you suffered some sort of accident?
No, I'm here to call upon my sister.
Your clothes.
Well, I came here on foot. It's only 3 miles. So.
3 muddy miles.
Yeah, it's still, raining a bit, and I took a bit of a fall, tumble kind of thing. Yeah. How's Jane?
Oh, she will not come down, Miss Bennet.
You take me to her. Then you needn't fear for your carpets.
Oh, well, of course, and I should bring her up some more tea.
Bingley.
Oh, come, this way. Come, come, come.
Jane? Lizzie? Yes? Oh, Lizzie, I am so glad you're here. Won't you come out now, darling? Ready or not, here I come! No, please don't cry, don't cry. Okay, I just... I thought that you were dying.
I am! Look at me!
That's
That's what it is! I'm with Mary!
No, you're speaking nonsense, dearest. You look as beautiful as ever.
You only think that because you love me, but Mrs. Bingley barely knows me, and first impressions are very important.
Well, if he likes you at all, then he will like you even in an imperfect state. And I'm certain that he does like you. Yes, very much.
I like him too much. He's a perfect man.
Drink your tea and tell me how such a paradox is possible.
Out of the carpet. Oops.
It most certainly will. It is just water.
6 inches of mud on her, and did you see her hair?
Caroline.
To walk 15 miles or whatever it is, unchaperoned, she is really too much.
I think Miss Elizabeth Bennet looked remarkably well this morning.
Charles, I'm sure your noble friend agrees with me, and you always take his counsel. She demonstrates a shocking indifference to decorum. Darcy, don't you agree?
Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Miss Bennet, how is your sister?
Oh, materially better. I dare say we'll be able to leave you in the morning.
Oh no.
No. Oh, perhaps I should bring her up some more tea.
Bingley!
Perhaps not.
Sit. Hey!
Okay.
Sit. You're right. Stay. Stay. Good boy, who's my good boy?
Do you play, Miss Bennet?
A little.
Does
but
your
not
sister
very
still play,
well.
Darcy? Her touch on the pianoforte is so graceful, so delicate, so faultless, but then she is so well bred.
It's amazing how all ladies are like that. So accomplished.
All ladies accomplished. Charles, whatever can you mean?
Well, for one, you all play instruments and embroider purses and do a whole lot of fiddly arts that would leave me bewildered.
Bingley, if that's what you consider accomplished, not surprised to find all ladies so.
I wager you set your expectations high, Mr. Darcy. What's your ideal?
No woman can be called accomplished who doesn't possess a mastery of music, needlework, and the languages.
All of the languages.
And even that is nothing. If she does not know when to speak and when to hold her peace, the accomplished woman is irreproachable, an elegant ornament in any room, a sparkling delight to any eye, a flawless vessel into which the confidences of the greatest men be safely poured.
And to this facade, she must add something more serious, by the continual improvement of character aspect.
I'm no longer surprised at your knowing only a few accomplished women, Mr. Darcy. In fact, I rather wonder at your knowing any. I've never seen such a lady, uniting capacity, taste, and elegance with, I almost forgot, moral invincibility.
Well, do play fairly, Miss Bennet. Surely you can picture the perfect man. It's funny.
No, it's just that pictures of perfection make me sick and wicked.
The ideal then, not the perfect.
Well, if I ever saw him, I should know it.
Miss Jane Bennett.
Oh, Miss Bennet, did you get my tea? That's all right.
Wet entrances are a family trait, I see.
Well, Bingley seems enthralled.
He will pass, as all blind attachments do.
Well, I mean, he appears to be in no real danger, but she is an interesting character, to say the least.
You are lost, sir, but I know your mind. You're thinking how insupportable it would be to pass much time in this society.
No. I'm meditating on the pleasure at which a pair of bright eyes and a fine face as the lady may bestow.
Bewitched Mr. Bingley. He throws this ball to a purpose, and you must take care to be conquered!
Mr. Bingley's ball is no compliment to me, Mamma.
Speaking nonsense.
Now, you won't be all right, Jane. You won't be too diffident.
I will do all that is appropriate.
You've always been my favorite. 5,000 a year. You're nothing on your sister. I can't wait to see the look on Horseface Charlotte Lucas's stupid little horse face. Hello, Lydia. Jake, Lizzie, Jake. Lydia, calm down. Use your words. Remember, play your name with me. Play.
That is so random.
Okay, fine. Is it a vegetable?
Nay.
Is it a mineral?
Nay.
Is it a fruit?
Is it an animal?
Can it fly?
Does it swim? Does it walk? Yes,
Oh, stupid. Game's over, Mary, and I win. I have done my duty for the family, for I have brought home a gentleman to tea.
A gentleman?
Yay!
Lydia, you should not be luring strange men home.
Why not?
Why not? I was chaperone the whole time. Mary was with me, and Lord knows she's a stumbling block before the climb.
Trollop.
I thought he might do for you, Lizzie.
Welcome.
Girls. This is Mr. Wickham. Mr. Wickham, my daughters. Mr. Wickham has recently returned from the regiment as a colonel, sir.
Only lieutenants, I'm afraid.
That's laudable. Why don't you take a seat by Lizzie here while I go fetch Mr. Bennet? It may take a moment. He's at his paper.
Mr. Wickham, I have such a naughty proposition for you. I demand that you come escort us to the Bingley's ball on Tuesday. He's Jane's beau, you know, and ever so rich. No other gentleman will be there except for Jane's not beau. So after Lizzie, you must stand with me, sir.
Lydia, please.
Mary, do play something cheerful. Nothing can be arranged.
Do you forgive my sister?
Nothing could be more natural than so young.
What do you find the captain so far, Mr. Wickham?
It is charming. And the people here are so, well, unreserved. I have to ask. The Darcy your sister mentioned, is that Mr. Darcy, Derbyshire?
The same.
May I ask how well you know him?
We're acquainted. Why, are you friendly with him yourself?
We are acquainted. I've been connected with his family since my infancy. But perhaps I should say no more.
Mr. Wickham, I will lay myself bare and tell you that I find the man rather disagreeable.
Well, then I will also expose myself entirely and tell you that I am not surprised. We are expressing dangerous opinions, are we not?
Not in this county, sir, for he is not at all liked in Hertfordshire. Everybody is just disgusted by his pride.
How discerning you all are. Well, as much as it pains me to see him, I will not be driven away from this place too.
Oh?
Please. In normal circumstances, Miss Bennet, I would never refrain from my silence. But since we are being so naughty, Mr. Darcy's father was my godfather.
Oh.
He loved me as another son, and promised me that when I came to manhood, I would inherit a most valuable living. Unfortunately, when he died, living was given elsewhere.
You were robbed of your inheritance by Mr. Darcy.
Well, I assume he's always jealous of the relationship I had with his father. May he rest in peace.
Wow, I always knew Darcy despised his fellow creatures, but to descend to thievery, yes, all because of his
pride.
His pride, precisely. He deserves to be publicly disgraced.
Oh, well, that may be. I have sworn never to speak ill of him, in memory of my beloved godpapa. Miss Elizabeth, I must thank you for allowing me to unburden myself to you.
Oh, you can call me Lizzie.
Miss Lizzie Bennet, there's something about you that encourages a man to open his heart.
Mr. Bennet will be in presently.
Oh, I must be going, ma'am. I only came to make sure the girls came home safely. Miss Lizzie, I do hope I will see you soon.
I'm not interested in catching anyone. Speaking of,
Well, you want to.
Okay, even if I was tempted. No, Mr. Wickham is inappropriate. Your matchmaking is inappropriate. This conversation is inappropriate.
But you don't want it.
Girls, where is this Paris come to steal away my poor excuses for Helen?
Well, you just missed him, Papa.
That's all right.
And only a lieutenant, Mr. Bennet.
Well, even the soundest nets will occasionally catch the smallest fish.
You're in high spirits, Papa.
I've actually received an intriguing letter. Hope you girls can accommodate another young man for dinner tomorrow evening.
Bingley Jane, get your tushy and gee, we're having a tea party.
It's not Mr. Bingley. It's my dear cousin, Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins.
You know, the very same villain who shall inherit this estate when I'm finally dead. No, he intends to make a visit
Come here.
to
He
heal the rift
will
between
not
our
be
families.
in this house. He only comes to have this over.
He's single!
Is he a red coat, Papa?
A clergyman, in fact.
Hello.
And perhaps we won't scare him away, so you could just take a couple steps back.
With so many bachelors nowadays, there must be someone for everyone. Even Mary.
Well, Lizzie, if Mr. Collins says it was appropriate and serious.
I tell you ladies, you young ladies, you young gracious ladies of youth and grace, you lie die.
Could you pass the sugar?
Jane.
It is a grave duty. It is a grave duty to act as tutor of the soul, but as a clergyman, it is my place to inspire charity. And I've been sent on this crusade by none other than the most righteous Lady Catherine de Bourgh. I have been sent on this crusade by none other than the most righteous Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Yes,
We know her.
Yeah,
We know
Yeah. I flatter myself that my overtures are commendable, and that you will not spurn this proffer at olive. Brah!
Very well said, Mr. Collins. Very, very well said. Now, I do hope you realize that we are open to any connection between our houses, sir. Any connection.
To spend even an instant in the companies of my fair cousins, madam, shall be to feel forever entranced.
Well, it is your duty, girls, to show Mr. Collins all of Meryton's charms, and I hope you will accompany one of them to the Bigleys' ball tomorrow.
No.
Yes?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
What Lydia means, sir, is that, as a clergyman, you may not wish to dance, really. I
I
would
hope
think
to
so.
couple with all my cousins in the course of the evening. I make this claim to you, for I think that we are relations.
Wow, okay. This happened. I think we've all had our fill of tea time, so ta-ta.
Mrs. Bennet, I am most determined to heal the rift between our households. To be plain, I am a bachelor, and thanks to my noble patroness, Lady Catherine de Bourgh, I am a man of some considerable fortune.
Oh, Mr. Collins,
Your eldest daughter.
Jane.
Jane, yes, she is excessively pretty.
Oh, well, I must inform you that Jane has already been spoken for, but Lizzie here is available. Quite available.
Mr. Collins, will you be accompanying us to the Bingley's ball
For you,
tomorrow?
sweet cousin.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, for I shall go anywhere.
Just and bomb and eyes and smile! Bomb and eyes and smile! Just a man with female eyes! Just a man with female eyes! Just a bomb and goes to toe! No one wants to die alone! No one wants to die alone! Balls, balls, balls! I love balls!
It's Colonel Foster!
Get off her! Lydia!
Lizzie! So, is Mr. Wickham? He's only a lieutenant. You can overlook that. I think he's rather perfect.
This from the woman who swore to remain
Speaking of actual perfection, look at Jane and Bingley.
He's working in her admirer. Did you like him?
Can't you see?
He seems too composed to be in love.
Well, how forward can she be without being accused?
Colonel Foster, can I touch your musket?
Vulgarity.
But she'd be much more shocking in her dealings with him.
Perhaps she wishes, I don't know, get to know him before making a display of her affections.
But how much can we ever know of anybody? She should hurry up and get him to the altar. She has the rest of her life to fall in love.
You would never act that way yourself.
One invariably finds himself doing precisely what they swore never to do. Speaking of which,
Miss Bennet, I was wondering if you felt any inclination to dance
I'm sorry.
with me.
But you hate to dance.
Previously engaged, I
No, that's fine, go.
attention! Mademoiselle et Monsars! I have kids, and boy do I have a lot of them! But I have one who's a little bit more diffident. She doesn't have beauty, or charm, or personality, or anything of note, really, but she does have fingers! And she can do this!
For many a flowers to blush unseen.
No. That, sweetie, nobody likes an actress. She can do this! She will be available to dance after.
Painful exertions of a lady attempting to be thought accomplished.
You're joking.
I must start out by being impertinent, Mr. Darcy, or I will be afraid of you.
So you're laughing at me.
No, at yourselves.
So you are laughing at me, Miss Bennet.
Yeah, fine. Only because the contrast between us is so extreme. I am fundamentally flawed and thus hopelessly unserious, but you seem to possess such perfect understanding that you have no defects whatsoever.
You cannot really mean that, Miss Bennet. For I am also imperfect.
Are you?
Well, perhaps there's a particular evil in every character.
May I sum up yours, Mr. Darcy?
You certainly try, Miss Bennet.
Yours is, I'm afraid, a propensity to hate everyone.
And yours is to willfully misunderstand them.
Oh, Lydia.
Mr. Darcy, what are you doing here? Nobody likes you. Let's go find Mr. Wickham for you to dance.
Mr. George Wickham of Derbyshire?
Of Derbyshire. And a far better dance companion than some.
I assure you he is not. I know the man quite well.
Mary, how about you stop?
He had most interesting things to say about you, Mr. Darcy.
I don't doubt it, Miss Bennet.
Anyone want to dance?
You would have a charming mother-in-law. She confided some shocking expectations to me just now. These little games are getting out of hand. It's time to act seriously, don't you agree?
Miss Bennet, may I call on you again tomorrow? In private?
Hello. Did Mr. Bingley say when he would call?
No, but I might not go to church today in case he comes.
Jane, you would endanger your immortal soul to meet with a man?
What is this shocking behavior?
Or maybe I should go after all.
We're just messing with you. But indeed, you could be much more shocking in your dealings with him.
Do you think
also, I feel like whenever I'm around him, I'm rather forward.
Truly.
Well, I suppose we're all blind to ourselves, right? So when he comes here, I will try and tell him that I like him.
I like you, Mr. Bingley. A truly affectionate response to a proposal. Proposal.
Charlie cannot know.
It's from Netherfield, Jane. Is it from Mr. Bingley?
Yes. Hi. Mr. Collins has something to say to Lizzie.
Oh, my fair cousin.
Just excuse me just 1 second.
Your modesty, cousin, only adds to your perfections. Such delicacy is most desirable in a lady, and...
Oh, Mr. Collins, well...
Yes, Elizabeth Marie Bennet.
Not my middle name.
I have chosen you as the helpmate of my life.
Oh, Mr. Collins.
Let me assure you of the violence of my affection. 2 weeks ago, Lady Catherine de Bourgh condescended to give me her honorable opinion of the matter. Mr. Collins, you must marry, said her ladyship, and mind she be of good stock, and what better stock, my sweet cousin, than that of a vine. I came to marry you to select life.
Mr. Collins, I am sensible to the honor of your proposal, but I'm afraid it is impossible for me to do otherwise than to decline it.
What? You cannot be serious.
Oh, well,
Ladies always reject the gentleman's first advances.
Very serious.
One must win over and over before attaining blushing surrender. I shall play this game and confess that your love is most arousing.
Gross.
Mrs. Bennet, congratulate me upon the couplings of our household.
Mama! No, do not congratulate him.
My cousin refused me accordingly to the practice of elegant female.
Refuse, Lizzie.
The answer is no.
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 You are uniformly scrumptious. You are one of 4 cousins, and not even very pretty.
I know, but no.
And this will allow you to keep this estate in your family.
I know, but no.
And you have such low connections. No other offer will ever be made.
I know, but no.
Mr. Collins, if you would excuse us for a moment, I don't know. Oh, God, Charlotte, why are you still here? Take Mr. Collins for a walk.
I came to select a wife.
You'll get one, sweetie.
You've refused Mr. Collins, Lizzie.
Papa, I have no interest in a husband generally, especially not that one.
Elizabeth, if you do not marry Mr. Collins, then I shall never see you again.
It insists.
Papa, my feelings in every respect forbid it.
Then an unhappy choice is before you, Elizabeth. Your mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins, and I will never see you again if you do.
Mr. Bennet!
Leave me be, woman!
Mr. Bennet!
So I sink the family fortunes.
Lizzie. Why did you reject Mr. Collins? He was most appropriate and serious.
Well, what is appropriate? One should do anything rather than marry without affection.
What fun all this is.
Charlotte! Oh, bless you. Have you rid yourself of Mr. Collins?
Not
Precisely. He's gone to Lucas Lodge to ask consent from my father.
You don't mean to say that he's made another offer in the course of a walk?
Charlotte Lucas, how can you tell such a lie? Mr. Collins wants to marry Lizzie.
Well, you refused him rather absolutely, and he did come to select a wife, and, well, I was there.
Go, Lydia. Go.
Hardly know him, Charlotte.
A dance or two, a little conversation. That's more than most couples have. Colin! Nobody else is asking, Lizzie. My parents have no money, I shall have no dowry, and, well, we're not exactly Janes, are we? Charlotte, the clock is ticking, and marriage is a serious matter. And with Mr. Collins, I shall have this.
All of this.
Yes, but the entail is not my fault, Jane. Lizzie had her chance. We will once laugh at this as we do everything else, won't we? What?
You just told Mama.
Please. You will visit me in Kent once I'm married? You won't just abandon me because I've stepped out of line? Lizzie, do wish me joy.
Please don't cry, Jane. Are you upset with me too?
Of course not. It's the letter from Netherfield. Miss Bingley writes that her and her brother left the counties.
Mr. Darcy go too. But when are they to return?
Never. She said that they are never coming back.
This is not a game. This is not a game! Passive and milquetoast and diffident, willful and stubborn and prideful. Two perfect gentlemen, two ideal suitors. Gone. All my hard work. We're ruined. Lydia, come. I cannot see these stupid girls anymore. Take me to my sick bed. Take me to my deathbed. My nerves.
I know that letter is wrong. Mr. Bingley will return soon.
Do you think so?
I do. Everything will be perfect. You'll see. You'll see, Jane.
Is something wrong, my dear?
No, it's nothing. I do not wish to discuss it. It's just that I was thinking of how Charlotte Lucas will do up this room once you are dead, of course. Shall she steal all of our furniture, or will she burn it down to matchsticks?
Ma.
I do know one thing, Jane. That there will be no gallant Mr. Bingley giddy-upping to our rescue. For he'll have long have snatched up another girl with an inch of a spine.
Mamma, please.
Do we not hope for better things?
No, that I would live to see such days.
Perhaps you won't. Perhaps you'll die before me. You'll have to endure none of it. Oh, wait, no, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like She'll never die.
At least she stopped throwing things.
Won't last much longer. You're going to visit Charlotte in Kent, and when you return, Mamma will be too eager for gossip to hold a grudge. And as for Bingley, yes, well, you shall soon be forgotten, and all will be as it was.
He must have felt something for you, Jane.
Then why did he leave? So suddenly, and had nothing. For a month.
I cannot believe that the Bingley we knew would act in such a manner. But I suppose every day confirms the inconsistency of all characters, even those we thought perfect gentlemen. Jane, you love him.
I thought that love would be this perfect understanding between two people without words needed, but I don't know his mind, so.
His behavior is unaccountable.
And even if I do love him, even if I did, it doesn't matter, because I don't know if it would be a perfect match. How does one ever know?
Hello! You'll never guess what beast I have lured home again. Come, sir, come, come, come.
Mr. Wickham.
Miss Bennet, Miss Lizzie, however do you do?
They are very dull, Mr. Wickham. They see nobody and go nowhere since stupid Mr. Bingley went stupid.
Lydia, please.
Thank you. Lydia?
Mr. Wickham, please do anything to break up their seriousness. Tell them the story of the one-eyed cabman, or the shocking story of how Mr. Darcy stole your inheritance. Anything to break up their seriousness.
Lydia, can I just talk to you in the other room for a moment?
Why?
Just because. High spirits? May I?
Oh, sure, of course. I've never known a military man to practice the piano. I was taught by Mr. Darcy's sister. I hear she's very accomplished.
Proud girl, like all that family. Her brother abandoned me, so did she.
Mr. Wickham. Lydia said that you told her of your disinheritance. I thought you swore never to speak of Mr. Darcy's misdeeds.
I resolved not to. I am too imperfect, too honest, too open. You blame me for it?
No. No, of course not. Mr. Darcy has earned his infamy.
I believe I have tickled your ivory.
Mr. Wickham, please allow me to apologize. I should not have run on in that wild manner. Thank you very much.
I've been known to run on in a wild manner myself.
Papa, this is Mr. Wickham. He escorted Mary and me home today.
Where is Mary, Lydia?
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Wickham. These girls have told me a great deal of nonsense about you. Which one should you...
Leia and Mr. Spedder.
That is not true.
The chaos and circumstances. Girls, please!
Lizzie, when will I see you again?
Oh, I'm off to visit my friend in Kent tomorrow, but I shall return within the next few weeks.
I do hope I can wait so long. Pleasure.
Lizzie. I ought to congratulate you. See, Jane has been crossed in love recently, and I know women love that above all things. It gives them sort of distinction, that pride. But now you found a man to disappoint you too.
Mr. Wickham shall not disappoint me if I can prevent it, Papa.
Why not? He seems quite capable of jilting you fully.
How many times must I tell you, tell everyone that I shall never marry?
That's what you think, Lizzie, that's what you think. But how can you claim to be any wiser than the rest of your fellow kind? Ask not for whom the bell tolls, Elizabeth, it tolls for thee.
Bing bong, bing bong, bong, bing bong, bing. Bing bong, bing bong, bong, bing bong, bing. Bing bong, bing bong, bong, bing bong, bing. Bing bong, bing bong, bong, bing bong, bing.
They chime to welcome you, cousin. Well, they do not chime so much for you as for the angels, but the Lord will allow this double recognition of your stay. Bing bong, bing bong, bong, bing bong.
Thank you, my
bing.
dear, thank you. Please, no, maybe you could go collect some nosegays for tonight.
Yes, Miss Bennet, I do not want to overpower you, but I must inform you, my sweet, sweet cousin, that we have been asked to tea at Rosings by none other than the most righteous, Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
I'm sorry, Lady Catherine...
de Bourgh.
Right, of course.
And you will have the inestimable honor of meeting Mr. Bourgh, her charming daughter. She is, unfortunately, of a delicate constitution, and that, as he told her ladyship, has deprived the British court of its brightest ornaments.
Thank you, my dear, the nosegays, please. Thank you.
So how are you, Lizzie? How are you? You know, I've been fine. Things have been a little bit hectic.
He loves to garden, you know, and I encourage him to do so and attend to Rosings and walk to his town and just be out generally.
How are you, Charlotte?
Life is imperfect on this side of the line, but whenever I get annoyed or frustrated, I play a little game. Are you ready? So, I close my eyes and just let everything become mere noise, like birds chirping or bells tolling. An inoffensive portion of the scenery. The house is pretty, isn't it?
Yes, it's gorgeous.
So,
The carriage will fetch us within the hour. Miss Bennet, what do you intend to wear?
This?
Okay. Well, come.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh!
My lady, Mr. Bourgh, you both look so radiant.
Don't look at her.
Miss Elizabeth Bennet, madam.
Turn, Miss Bennet. Turn, 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 turn. A tolerable figure, don't you think, Anne? If a little too plump.
You come from Meryton, Miss Bennet.
That's right.
Had relations there recently and drove through it myself. It was disgusting.
Disgusting.
You are one of 4 daughters. Are any of them handsomer than yourself?
Most, my liege.
As expected. 4 daughters, and thus your father's estate shall go to Collins. How poorly planned.
Well, I didn't have much of a part in the planning myself, ma'am.
No matter. You shall feel the lesson of it when he dies. Is your father a young man?
No.
Well, 4 daughters. Are any of your younger sisters out in the world?
Oh?
The younger one's out before the elder ones are married. Some of them must be quite young.
Well, yes, the youngest is only 14, but really, ma'am, it would be hard on my younger sisters should they not get their fair share of amusement just because the elder has no inclination to marry.
Disgusting. Come.
Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy!
Oh, you naughty boy. We were not expecting you until tomorrow.
Well, I did travel early to avoid the bad weather.
Oh, we are only 2. But Anne and I are not dressed for any company of note.
Radiant as ever.
My nephew, Fitzwilliam.
Nephew.
The rector, Collins, his wife, and,
Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
you mixed with company in Meryton, sir.
Not willingly.
We attended a dance or two together.
I didn't know you dance. Come sit by Anne, sir, and tell us of your journey. Tea! Miss Bennet, do you play?
A little, but not.
We shall hear you.
Okay. You alright? Fitzwilliam? Are you kidding me? That's his name? I always thought it was the infamous Darcy. I've been staring. Fitzwilliam is staring.
What is it you are looking at, sir? What is it you are talking of, ladies?
Of the instrument, ma'am.
No doubt it is better than anything you have ever known. We bought it. Fitzwilliam.
Surprised to find you in Kent, Miss Bennet.
It seems you cannot escape me, sir. And vice versa.
She came to visit me, sir.
That's right. Mrs. Collins is an old friend. You might have met her in Meryton had you deigned to engage with young ladies in that county.
Well, I haven't had the pleasure of formal introduction. Mrs. Collins.
And it's true, Charlotte. Nobody could be formally introduced in a ballroom.
Well, perhaps I'm ill-qualified to recommend myself to strangers.
Shall we ask him why, Charlotte? Why he, a man of sense, a man who has lived in the world, is ill-qualified to recommend himself to strangers?
Well, I guess conversing naturally with those I've never met before is not my strong suit. To have to appear interested in their follies would make me seem entirely
Unserious.
Precisely, Miss Bennet.
Now, Mr. Darcy, my fingers do not glide over this instrument in the same masterful manner that I know so many ladies do. They are just as capable of expression. They have not the same force, nor rapidity, nor charm. And I know it's all because of my lack of practicing.
Well, it seems that neither of us perform perfectly in front of strangers. Isn't that right, Miss Bennet?
What is it you are talking of, Fitzwilliam?
Music!
I must have my share of the conversation.
Well, tell you what they're saying.
Mr. Darcy? Might I inquire after Mr. Bingley?
No, I left him in town. Why do you ask?
He left so suddenly. All of you did.
We were missed?
Sir, I'm instructed to take the place as your aunt wishes you to hear how Mr. Burt would handle an instrument.
Come, Fitzwilliam. Come, come, come.
I think that man admires you. Charlotte, you're speaking nonsense. Do you still find him odious? Well, I still find him odd, and yes, of course, I still find him offensive. Remember his treatment of Mr. Wickham?
His behavior appears reprehensible, but perhaps we could strike him, Charlotte. For 10,000 a year, I could overlook all manner of imperfection.
Perhaps I should oblige the company.
No, my dear, that's really okay. You don't need to.
Love, if you
My dear,
must
please.
marry, make two hearts beat as one,
My dear,
but to
please,
a
please.
double.
My dear, please,
Jerry
get down. My dear,
let
my dear,
the
please.
Jesus run.
My dear, please, get down. You need not join us. That is, you needn't leave your conversation.
But I am sent away. Lady Catherine is arranging a tete-a-tete. A perfect match, for she shall inherit Rosings and he Pemberley. Together they will have the greatest fortune in England.
Indeed, and so die the hopes of Miss Bingley.
That, Bingley, brings me to my other point. I have a double plot. Lady Catherine sent me to ask, what lady was it that drove Mr. Darcy out of marry to him?
The lady.
Yes, for you know that was the cause.
The lady.
His friend, Mr. Bingley, got in a scrape with a woman. It would have been a most imprudent match, and the girl came from a low sort of family. But if Mr. Darcy had not whisked him away, Bingley would have been ensnared entirely. But you must know, my dear, what was her name?
Dinner!
I like to eat roast goose with stuffing, stuffed up so tight in my rectory.
Lucy, I'm so sorry. I was wrong about everything the whole time. And I was right. Charlotte, I was right. I've seen him clearly from the beginning.
Lucy, I really would say, but I cannot in services.
It's okay. I shall try and write to Jane.
Well, I'll let them know that you're unwell, but at least you will not get wet.
They said you were ill, and I didn't see you at church. I came to see if you're better.
I'm fine.
Bells.
Pardon?
Bells. They shall never ring if they're made improperly, you know. Each metal or careless manufacture, and they shall never sound as they should. But if they're cast of stronger stuff, made of quality, you can't control the vibrations. Can you? They go and go however they will once struck. And whether they ring for alarm or they ring for benediction, they cannot be unrung. They go until their energy is spent, or they crack.
What?
In vain I struggle. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. I love you. Despite my own endeavors, despite your family, despite your own conduct, I love you. I must bid you my congratulations. For your mother has taught you well. You've won. Years in time. It's kind of a mistake. You need to clean it up.
Mr. Darcy's already going to say this.
But then you need to clean it up. It doesn't
I
mean...
think this is going to help, Mr. Darcy. It's just...
It's better
it's
than
just
doing
frustrating.
nothing.
It's already... would you please stop?
You need
You're
to
getting
use
everything
something
right.
else. It doesn't
Would you
make any
please stop?
sense. It's not going to work.
It doesn't
You
work. I
need
do
to
not
use-
need you! I could feel gratitude for your declarations, sir. I would thank you for them, but I have never desired your good opinion.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I am! I actually am. In fact, I'm so far from trying to ensnare you, Mr. Darcy, that I've openly decried you as the most uncivil of men.
I am civil. With such little civility, I'm refused.
How can I be otherwise? You tell me that you like me against your will, your reason, your character, and I have other qualifications you know I have. You approach me with my conduct, yet act in a reprehensible manner yourself. Your treatment of Mr. Wickham, for example.
Suppose he's a great favorite of
He
yours.
is an agreeable man, one whom you robbed of his inheritance only because of your pride.
Who told you that?
As if it's the only claim laid against you. Had my feelings not already been decided? God, had they even been favorable? Do you think I could ever forgive the man who's ruined the happiness of a beloved sister?
Perhaps Wickham has told all of Meryton that I robbed him of the living promised by my father. What? Did he tell you what led to his disinheritance?
He told me that
He attempted to seduce my sister! Georgiana was 14 years old. Sweet, soft-hearted, romantic, and innocent. This is the agreeable man you speak of.
I cannot believe it.
Believe what you will. I will speak frankly, as always. Perhaps I would slander Wickham's name as openly as he does my own, but for Georgiana's reputation. As to your sister, Bingley liked Jane Bennet. I could see that. But then again, he likes everybody. Jane was amiable, but I did not see that she invited any serious attachment.
Then you're blind.
You know what I did see? What I did see was an imperfect match with unreliable and indifferent players, whose match was spurned on only by the fortune-hunting machinations of your own mother.
These are the words of a gentleman!
Even you must recognize her lack of propriety. The morning we left Meryton, Bingley did intend to propose to your sister. I urged him instead to absent himself from the county. I told him that Jane didn't care for him, and he would soon be trapped in a shameful connection. Had I known that Jane felt anything more,
She did. She does.
I still would have done the same. It's the most imperfect match. I was glad to spare him from it. Towards Bingley, I've been kinder than towards myself. But then I could do nothing. Miss Bennet, I do not mean to hurt your pride, but I abhor falsehood, and you cannot expect me to rejoice in the inferiority of your family. Surely, you of all people has seen the consequences of imprudent attachment, the misery of mismatch. Could I speak in flatteries like other gentlemen, like Wickham, I would.
Mr. Darcy. You're mistaken. You think you could have ever made the offer in any way that would have tempted me to accept? From almost the first moment of our acquaintance, you have been unfailingly arrogant, prideful, spiteful and disdainful.
But I
to
love
parents
you!
and mothers. I have no inclination towards marriage, Mr. Darcy. Even if I did, you are the last man whom I would ever consider.
This is too much. I shall never again express sentiments that to you are so disgusting.
What a mess. And all from that cold, taciturn, unfeeling man. Can you believe it,
You can
Charlotte?
hardly call him unfeeling.
Can you defend him after what he said about my family?
Well, you must admit that your mother, Lizzie, is rather exceptional.
Charlotte! Okay, fine, but you cannot possibly excuse his treatment of Jane.
But if you thought her indifferent,
And what do you think?
I think you must
Charlotte?
allow me to make some objections in this matter, because Lizzie, 10,000 pounds! 10,000 pounds. Think about it. Fine. When will you write home to tell them the truth about Mr. Wickham?
I shan't.
Why not?
Don't be so judgmental, Charlotte. Okay, Mr. Wickham says one thing, Mr. Darcy another, and who knows what happened for sure.
It
So-
sounds as if he did as much injury as you did him.
Listen, I can't help it, okay? Whenever I'm around Mr. Darcy, I just have this urge to just aggravate him.
But Lizzie, 10,000 pounds!
10,000 pounds, 10,000 schmounds. I would marry him for 100,000. I shall never see him again, and I'm very glad of it.
Well, you may at least think of him at least when we go visit his estate next week in Pemberley.
What?
Lady Catherine did
Whoa,
not.
whoa,
You know,
Charlotte,
promise you will not be there. He should be in town the entire time.
Are you cool?
He won't be there.
I'm not going to
But
his
you
house.
cannot make me go alone.
You won't be alone. You'll have your husband.
Precisely, Lizzie. Please, come.
One of the finest, largest private estates in all of England. First, a turn in the garden dates back to 1555. Do not step on anything. Then a turn into the main wing. You may have been mistress of all this. Miss Bennet, do you have something to share?
Oh, just that the gardens, they're so beautiful.
Ma'am, they grow wild under Fitzwilliam's care. But I'm sure he could be convinced to prune such imperfections. A lady's touch is needed. I will inform Fitzwilliam to discipline the gardener. Not that he will do so properly.
What do you mean, ma'am?
He is too familiar with his servants, Mrs. Collins. He overpays them, overfeeds them, and will take responsibility for every worn-out old pensioner, though he makes the estates a charity. Another thing a right-minded mistress would fix. Isn't that right, Anne?
Milady, might I inquire after a gentleman I know associated with this household, a Mr. Wickham.
A steward's boy? A terrible teller of fibs, as I recall. My brother brought him up at his own expense, but blood will tell, Miss Bennet, and he turned out no gentleman at all.
And he never washes his hands for anything.
Exactly. Vines, shrubbery. This statuary alone is worth over £800. Think of all the money.
Cornflowers! Roses!
Hey. Stop with the flowers, please! God! Meaningless portion of the scenery. Whew. Just nothing. It's okay. Mr. Darcy, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here?
No, I didn't. It's just that, we, the Collins, and we were told that you were away.
I hate to have disappointed you.
Disappoint? No, that's not what I meant. It's just a little like a surprise kind of thing. I just want I love what you've done with the hedges.
Well, I did not mean to interrupt whatever.
No, not interrupting per se. I just the gardens, they're so, what's the word, big.
Why, thank you. I often come here to reflect.
Oh.
And recently, I've been reflecting, I've been regretting certain sentiments, and for that,
Lizzie.
I apologize.
Lizzie.
I have received this letter, this dreadful letter from your father, cousin.
My father.
It was delivered this moment by messenger. Your sister, Miss Lydia, she was, she has.
For heaven's sake, Collins, is she deceased?
Your sister, Miss Lydia, has run away with a Mr. Wickham.
Lydia has eloped with Mr. Wickham.
Not married. Run away.
Better that she had died.
Please, Lizzie, we must get you home. My dear!
I'm sorry for your cousin, Collins. That whole branch of your family is ruined. 4 daughters and 1 fallen. Nobody shall ever have them now.
Miss Bennet, I shall escort you.
I can't. She's only 14.
Hawk has made inquiries everywhere, but there is no trace of them. I don't know what we're going to do.
How is Mama? She must be very bad.
It's not Mama, Lizzie. It's...
You're back.
Ah! Mary, please!
She locked me in a closet.
She?
Lydia, when she ran off with Wickham. I was there at least an hour. But I am recovering nicely. Jane, no. I'm not sad Lydia's gone. She's always leaving me behind like you two, like everyone. I'm never wanted in your games, am I? As shocking as the event may be, you can learn a useful lesson about perfection.
Perfection.
Purity! Flawlessness! This is an ideal we must fulfill, because one false step condemns a person, a female person, to ruin. One slip pollutes her forever. We also learn from poor, stupid Lydia that a loss of virtue is irreplaceable, and that reputation is no less brittle than it is beautiful, and that a woman is never too irreproachable in her behavior. Perfection!
Pa,
Sorry. I must have not with the carriage.
Pa, can I get you something to eat or some tea?
I can't stomach it.
Papa, please forgive me.
For what?
I was given some private intelligence about Mr. Wickham's proclivities, and I should have written right away. I just didn't want to give the source any credit. This is all my fault.
No, Lizzie, no. For years, out of some disappointment, I removed myself from this family. Is it any wonder, with a father so absent and a mother so derangedly obsessed with conquest, that a child could become such easy prey?
I spoke so inconsiderately in front of Lydia. I called love a game and marriage an irreparable mistake.
Who taught you to think like this? I did! I've done nothing but set bad example after bad example for you. Every opportunity, at every turn, that failed this family time and time again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mr. Bennett, steel your nerves.
Mom, you look so well.
Don't be so sure you know everything about me, Elizabeth. Now is the time for strength. Perhaps attachment isn't always so foolish.
Hello! Hello? What? Well, this is a fine homecoming. You ought to be more civil considering the prize I have won. Come, sir. Come.
What kind of prize could possibly... How dare you? How dare you think you can come to my home and steal my time? What's wrong with you?
I should hope my husband should be welcome here.
Your husband?
Your husband?
I told you I won a prize.
Lydia! We shall need new greeting cards, Mrs. Lydia Wickham home!
Mrs. Bennett, please! You and I are going to speak privately about this.
It's a pleasure to see you all again.
Now!
Now I suppose you will all insist on examining the ring and fluttering over me as single women do. Won't you fetch me some tea, Jane?
No, she will not.
She should. I am before her in precedent now. Before all of you.
Lydia, please do tell me all the details. Now, though, I'm pretty sure your father has decided against murdering your husband.
Unless Papa plans to shoot him in the privacy of his own study.
Mr. Bennett?
Papa won't harm Wickham, for then they shall have me on their hands again, and they have enough spinsters as it is.
You have really married him, Lydia.
Poor Jane. I hope you someday have half as good luck as I. That tea.
How could you have done this, Lydia? To expose his family to such ridicule,
You locked me in a closet.
Bless you.
How could you behave in such a manner?
I watch, you know. I listen. And I have learned many lessons. You never act on your impulses and always try to be perfect. And so you lost Mr. Bingley to get what you wanted.
Lydia.
Your friend Charlotte married only for serious considerations. Did she get what she wanted? You said it's all a game, so why shouldn't I have some fun? I have just as much chance of anyone of being happy.
With Wickham, a man who stole you from your family with no intention of actually marrying you.
I knew Wickham would come around to marriage eventually. And once Darcy found us, we were at church the next day.
Mr. Darcy.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to tell.
What does Mr. Darcy have to do with it?
Well, Darcy tracked us down at the inn in London, and he and Wickham talked in private, but I listened at the latch, as I do. And Darcy told Wickham that if he married me, which he would have wanted to at any rate, he would give Wickham an immunity to keep us out of trouble.
I finally get it. Someone had to be paid to marry someone like you.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. No! You, hush, you, all of you, with your grave faces!
How would any of you know how to make a match? I have won the game. I have married as I ought. And soon I will make all of you lovely maiden aunts. I thought that's what you wanted. You're all just jealous!
Calm yourselves, my girls. Nobody has been shot. Lydia!
Where are we going?
I have reluctantly consented to the match, but that is not welcome in this household. I've other daughters to think of.
But this is my home.
Was your home.
I want to stay here.
We do not always get what we want, Lydia. Sometimes we must settle for what is open and available. Isn't that right, Lizzie?
I thought you should be pleased.
And so we are.
Lizzie. Jane. Mary, promise me you'll visit soon.
No, you locked me in a closet.
But you may come to us, my dear, whenever you would like.
If I can make time. Married women, you know, are very busy and important.
Lizzie, do you wish me joy?
What a charming man.
He simpers and he smirks and he makes love to us all.
So handsome, too.
Mrs. Bennet, please. My nerves.
I don't understand. Why would Mr. Darcy interfere? I mean, it has to be a credit to you.
No, Jane. Mr. Darcy was the one who told me of Mr. Wickham's character. I suppose he must have felt a responsibility for not having told me sooner.
Look at me. Look at me. To do so much. To do so much. For the sake of honor.
Mr. Darcy is, we must concede, an honorable man. How can I have acted so despicably? Who am I to reproach Lydia with her foolishness? Mr. Darcy was right. He did hurt my pride over and over again, and I so endlessly indulged in my own cleverness, all in the service of my prejudice. I did him 1,000 times more injury than he ever did me, abusing him openly, even to Wickham, the lowest of men. I, who boasted of my discernment, until this moment, I have never known myself. How could I have been so blind? If I were to see him again, I would apologize for being so blind. Yes, well, I never shall see him again.
So, you know something of that. 2 suitable matches, right? 2 imperfect old maids. Can't be so bad, can it? We'll see.
Lady Catherine! Is this the fallen sister? No, too old. I would like to speak to Miss Elizabeth Bennet alone. Go, sister! Go, go, go! I'm gonna go. No, Jane. Miss Bennet, why am I here?
Why?
I am here because a scandalous falsehood has been brought to my attention. You know what matters I was doing. Do not play games with me, Miss Bennet. You have been spreading scandalous rumors about certain interactions with my nephew.
Do you mean his proposal?
Aha! This is a falsehood of which I speak. Darcy could not have made an offer to you, for he is already engaged to my daughter.
And such an offer would be impossible.
Precisely. Now, promise me you shall never indulge in such inappropriate feelings for my nephew.
Lady Catherine, you have no right to involve yourself in my affairs.
So you would burden Darcy with your sordid family history?
Lady Catherine, I must ask you to leave.
You know that any relation you have with Darcy would ruin him, don't you? That such a ridiculous mismatch would only bring him shame and misery? Do you wish to make him the laughingstock of the world?
Mrs. Lady Catherine de Bourgh!
Oh, my lady, it's such an honor.
Mrs. Bennet, I should like a tour of your park.
My park?
Your shrubbery, then. I will give Miss Elizabeth Bennet time to reflect. And in the meantime, you and I shall discuss matters privately. Come.
It'll be all right. Lizzie? What is happening?
Lady Catherine is arranging matters above my head. Jane, Mama is in for quite a turn.
What do you mean?
Stop doing that!
Doing what?
Go and get whoever that is in the door. We have enough excitement for the day, okay? I never thought I'd say it. I never thought I'd say it, Jane, but my nerves are going to stop.
Jane, for you.
This can't be for me.
Well, you know, it's always for you, for Lizzie, but it's never for me!
Mr. Darcy, I beg your pardon, but I don't think that you are calling on me.
Well, I'm not the one calling on you.
can I say?
No, Jane,
This is
Jane,
most
Jane,
inappropriate.
Jane,
Bingley,
I look
say
laughable.
something.
Look at me. Just speak. Speak.
Surprise!
You're here.
I had never intended to leave. I was a fool.
Mr. Bingley. Would you like to go for a walk?
Woof. yes, I mean, of course.
Okay.
We have to stop by for some tea.
Yes, that would be great. See, Lydia. It cannot always be wordless.
Darcy, thank you.
And it cannot always be faultless.
Miss Bennet.
No. You need to leave. If your aunt finds you here,
My aunt is
she
here?
came to make a promise that I do not understand you, Mr. Darcy. I must thank you for bringing Bingley. That was good.
So, it was the right thing to do, given that it was my fault.
Well, I must also thank you for your actions with Lydia. That was also.
Well, it was the right thing to do. I should have told you about Wickham earlier.
It was my fault.
It was mine.
It was my fault.
Lizzie, it was my
It
fault.
was my fault.
It was my fault.
Would you not argue with me for once? It was my fault, Mr. Darcy. It was mine. You do these perfectly honorable deeds, sir, and you say these beautiful things despite not being very good at talking, really. And then you do other things, and you act in just this a very appalling manner, and I can't think around you, and I can't see straight, and I talk too much. No, I meant, I mean to be serious. I'm sorry. For some, many, not all, but certain things, and I don't want you to be the laughingstock of the world, so would you please just go?
What promise did my aunt try to extract from you?
That I would never indulge in appropriate feelings toward you.
You must have found that easily enough, right? Right, Miss Bennet?
I can't think.
That
with
couldn't have
all of
been
this,
too
why
hard,
does
right?
it matter, Mr. Darcy? You're engaged to your cousin. Mr. Bennet! Mr. Bennet! Wake up! Wake up! The game is afoot! Oh, Mr. Darcy, have you come to fetch your aunt? It's Lily.
Aunt Catherine.
Mr. Bingley!
Mrs. Bennet! Mama!
Mary! Mr. Bennet!
What is all this racket, please?
Mr. Bennet, Mr. Bingley has come again, but Lady Catherine de Bourgh is here because...
Sir, I have reason to believe that your daughter,
Jane?
Elizabeth,
Jane?
is trying to ensnare my nephew,
Bingley?
Fitzwilliam.
Darcy.
No, not again. Your Elizabeth is trying to ensnare my Darcy, and I'm here to put a stop to it. Sir, this is a serious matter.
First of all, she assures me that this is impossible because Mr. Darcy is already engaged to her daughter.
Aunt Catherine.
Fitzwilliam
Aunt Catherine.
is a de facto engagement.
So, you're not engaged.
No, I am not engaged.
But it's a perfect match!
Nonetheless, I told her, Mr. Bennet, I told her that it is still impossible because Lizzie hates Mr. Darcy with all extremity, always has, always will. Isn't that right, Lizzie?
Well,
Lizzie.
I believe I've spoken a bit harshly. In the past, I don't hate him, per se. I shall not
Peace,
stand by
Lady
his...
Catherine, peace. There is hope yet. Mr. Darcy, I thought you never looked at a woman but to see flaw. But you too shall still be disappointed, for my Lizzie is firmly resolved against marriage. Isn't that right, Lizzie? Ask not for whom the bell tolls. Tolls for thee. All right, this is happening. Let's cut a deal, Mr. Darcy. If you can secure her consent, you have mine. Fair? Deal. And as for the rest of you, I'd like to say, go! Go! Leave my home, please!
Out my head!
me, madam!
Oh my, your family is...
What the?
You're one to talk, Mr. Darcy.
Your father is a scary man.
My father's the best.
My father is also the best of men. And my sister's pretty great.
So's mine. One of mine, at least.
And your mother is intolerable.
Fair enough.
So you don't hate me then?
Rather the opposite. Whoa, no, I didn't say that. though.
What's now?
It's not perfect.
It's not.
How do you know it's the right match?
I don't.
Well, I don't.
Lizzie, I don't know.
This is just too much.
Then let us make it a game.
It's not a game. It's serious. I mean, it's not serious. It's nonsense, really. It's not.
Then let us make it a dance. Lizzie, will you?
My love.